Well, good afternoon, everybody, and wherever you are listening. This is the first episode of season two of the Darts of Jack podcast, and I am delighted to welcome on Luke Hayes, better known as Heyzy Darts. Luke, it's a pleasure to have you on the podcast.
Hello, mate. Thank you for inviting me. It should be a nice little chat. I'm looking forward to it.
Absolutely, mate. So, for those of you who don't know, Luke is very popular on TikTok and other platforms. So, Luke, can you talk to us, a bit about how you started getting into content creation?
Yeah. So, I mean, to be fair, I've always been involved in the sort of, I don't know, content creation. I was on Twitch for about 2 years prior to coming onto TikTok and doing darts. I used to do a lot of like gaming under a whole different name. And yeah, I've always played darts. I mean, I had my first dartboard when I was seven. And I don't know, after last year's Worlds, I don't know, it brought a spark back into me again. And I feel like I would have played darts continuously from the age of seven if there was the amount of opportunities that there were now. Like, the Russ Bray darts app was a massive thing for me when I first
Yeah.
started because you never had the ability to play against a computer or anything like that. It was a lot more, on a chalkboard. I'm showing my age
Yeah.
now. It's like, really old school. So yeah, and like, I just kind of went, you know what, I really enjoy my darts. It's something that I was like, I missed not being on Twitch anymore. So I was like, okay, do you know what? Let me put two of my loves together. I'll start doing content creation again, and I'll give TikTok a go. And I started literally right at the end of March last year now, and I'm what 9 months in, and to say that I'm almost at 20,000 followers on TikTok. It's been
Yeah.
an incredible journey. To be fair, it's been quality. I've really enjoyed every second.
And where would you say you get kind of your best ideas for content creation from?
Just off the noggin, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, like my content in the last maybe month and a half has completely changed. Um, when I first started, I had a series which did quite well, which was like my first six darts of the day.
Yeah.
And I used to get ideas from people in the comments of what I could do for the first six darts of the day every day, and I did that. I think it was for about, oh, blimey, maybe about 3 months straight. I did it every day.
Well,
And it was, it really helped grow. I mean, if it's anything that anyone would want to listen to and take for advice, you need to make sure you start making content with ideas. Like, don't just,
mm,
start making content because you want to make content. That's great, brilliant. You want to make content, amazing. Don't start without having some sort of idea first. Because the worst thing that can happen is for you to upload one video and then not have another video for 2.5 weeks. And
yeah.
if you made any traction on that first video, it will all disappear. Like, you have to be consistent and you have to have a run of videos that you already have scheduled and planned to do. But the content that I do now is just such, it's short form, snappy videos that have really worked, especially over
Yeah.
the current World Championships. I mean, that's been a big benefit to
Mm.
me.
And when you kind of, started out with your content creation and, you were talking about how, the type of videos that would help you grow, did you expect to kind of get to where you are now?
Oh, absolutely not. No, I mean the opportunities that I've had, it's almost like a pinch yourself moment. I mean, you know, to meet the amount of people that I've met, to be involved in such a great darting content group. I mean, when I first even started on TikTok, like watching videos maybe about 2 years ago, one of the first people that I ever followed was Dave, Darts of Fun.
Yeah.
And to say that, now, I spend time with Dave, I spend time with Charlie Murphy, Luke Bodley. I mean, I own, or have a lot of my channel because of what Luke Bodley has done for a lot of the darting world. I mean, with Throwdown, I mean,
Yeah.
Throwdown has been such a massive exposure for me personally. And if it wasn't for Throwdown, I wouldn't have met Live Darts with Jake. And without Live Darts with Jake, there wouldn't be a dart club.
Mm.
And that's our sort of group that we're running on YouTube. I mean, Mate, it's been absolutely insane, and to even go down to the Red Dragon and Winmore headquarters a few
Yeah.
months ago was just it's a pinch yourself moment, and we can't announce too many things currently, but the things that are planned for this current year coming, in 2025 is it's mate, it's gonna be insane. It's gonna be so good.
And obviously, yeah, we can't help but talk about Throwdown. And you talk about Luke as well. I've had him on the podcast before, and obviously he helped my channel grow a lot as well. And for you, obviously, I met you for the first time at Throwdown in Wolverhampton, which was event two. And genuinely, you were one of the nicest people I've ever met. You were just so welcoming. And obviously, I've got you on the podcast now. And then you took the title with Live Darts with Jake. So how did that feel?
Oh, it's just. I mean, we were first of all, mate. Thank you very much for the nice words. You didn't have to say that, but thank you very much nonetheless. I mean, to win the titles was just insane. I mean, I feel like we had obviously Dicko's darts and Minimise in the semis, and we were the massive favourites to win that
Yeah.
because Minimise. I love Minimise. Like we
What
have
a
such a
guy.
love-hate relationship. Like I'm in his lives. I chat rubbish to him. He chats rubbish to me all the time. Like, undoubtedly, at some point in the near future, there's going to be some sort of match between me and Minimize. That's almost guaranteed. It's almost signed, sealed, and delivered. We just got to try and come up with ideas as to how we can go about doing it.
Yeah.
Um, but we played so poorly in that first game. That first game was just embarrassing by me and Jake. I was I was absolutely disgraceful in that first game. I really, really let myself down. And then we then had Big Jake and Jesse in the final, and we because of how poorly we played in the first game, me and Jake went into it and was like, look, it'll be.
Yeah.
We're
Because,
probably going to go up there and
yeah.
you know not win the titles. I mean, we were not the favourites at all. I
Uh,
mean, no one gave us
I
any
was I
chance.
was gonna say because Jesse and Big Jake they played so well in that semi final.
Yeah, they were insane. I mean, Jesse was just piling in the tons left, right, and
Yeah.
center, and you can always rely on Jake for a finish. I mean, he has a whole series on TikTok where he just takes out big
Mm.
finishes. Um, but yeah, and then we got to the final and we won 3-0, and it was just the elation of when we pinned or when Jake pinned that double six. I mean, to say that we will always be known as the inaugural tag team throwdown
Yeah.
champs is something that I'm gonna take with me for the whole of my TikTok journey. No one's gonna take
Mm.
that away from me. And one thing I will say is in 2025 we will get our tag team titles back. Dark Club will be the throwdown tag team champs once again. It's gonna happen.
Strong words heard here first. With Throwdown as well, I think the whole community is brilliant. The events are so good. Do when you went into it, meeting all these people, did you ever think that you could, form such a community with these people who are all helping each other grow?
Do you know what? It's tricky because I was before event number one, before the massive sort of I can't remember what the first event was called now. It was a pro and a creator
Yeah.
sort of tag team competition, and it was really, really good. I was partnered with Caden Smith, and I wasn't in it about 2 weeks prior to the event. I only came in it because someone else had to sadly drop out. So I wasn't with the whole group for the month and a half, 2 months before it was then getting announced and everything. To give you an idea, right? I knew that Throwdown was a thing um, before I even started TikTok.
Yeah.
Like that's mental to say that it was announced there was going to be this whole TikTok thing, and Luke had announced this Throwdown event way before I'd even made my first starting TikTok video. So then to say that in that short period of time, from him announcing it to me then starting TikTok to then me being in the first event was just the maddest 2.5 months. Um, and yeah, the people in that community. I mean, we are just a bunch of mates. It's really sad to be fair that we're so spread out
Yeah.
around the country because we don't get to meet up as much as we would like. But when we do meet up, it's just quality. It could be at a darting event. It could be to hand out some junior dart ceremonies and things like that we've done
Mm.
at the end of this past year. It's just it's just a great bunch of lads, and ones that you know I'm proud to see them succeed, and they're also proud for me succeeding. Like we all kind of give each other the positive vibes when
Yeah.
we need them, and sometimes we give each other you know constructive criticism when it's needed because
Mm.
it's such a hard thing to do. Like yes, we have like tens of thousand followers and subscribers on YouTube and TikTok and everything like that, and it is amazing, but there are so many downtimes. Like when you feel like you're putting out a video and in the back of your head you're like, oh, it's going to be such a good video, like this video is going to pop, and then it struggles to even hit, I don't know, 10 to, I don't know, 15,000 views, for
Yeah.
example, on certain videos. It really, you need to have a drive to do what we do. And when you get something like that happens and you kind of get a bit of a, I don't know, like a hit to the stomach, you need people to be able to support you and to kind of go, look, we've all gone through like a downward trend, but at some point it's going to change. You need people like that, and that's something now that I definitely have with the group that I have made through TikTok. I mean, it's just everyone's in it together, and it's such a nice environment to be a part of.
I think what you were saying as well with the fact that everyone's spread out, I think that's what almost makes the events really special as well, because it's all you guys meeting up and then obviously chucking some brilliant darts.
Wow, I mean, not brilliant darts from me in particular, but yeah, the actual events are just insane. Or in Darts for Fun's case, throwing nails, because
It's
that guy's a joke
ridiculous.
with nails. I mean, that 115 checkout with nails,
That was
ball 15
mental.
ball. Oh, I was literally there in person, and I didn't watch it because I was warming up for my match. And I knew that there was something that happened. And straight after the match, Dave came up to me and he was like, you better have seen what I just done. I was like, no, mate. And he went, you're joking. I went, no, mate. I was warming up for my match. And he went, "We're just taking out a 115. And I went, oh, that's amazing. And then he went, but to top it off, it was ball 15 ball.
It
I was
was
like, get out.
ridiculous. I
Mate, honestly, I've never seen anything like it.
he did it at the modus as well, and with the nails, and still pretty much dominated the competition. And he's off to Q school starting tomorrow, so obviously the
Well, I
best of
mean,
luck to him.
yeah, we were there. There was about 4 or 5 of us that went to go and support Charlie and Dave,
Yeah,
and it was an incredible day. I mean, the darts that are on display were quality. I mean, some of the players. I mean, Jaden Walker. I mean, there's a new video out on Dart Club at the moment of our time at the Modus event,
that is a
and
brilliant video, by the way, for anyone who needs to give that a watch.
yeah, thank you. We're almost at 1,000 subscribers on the YouTube, which is insane considering we only started it up about, I don't know, a month and a half ago. The growth on there has been insane, but the standard that was at the Modus event was insane, and Dave, the fact that Dave obviously is going to Q school, and there's part of me which wants him to um do extremely well, but I almost don't want him to get his tour card because I want him to play on the Modus stage
Yeah,
as a player first, because that's what he's been offered. He's obviously done 2 events now as a creator, and the thing that was announced a few days before that Modus event was they've offered him now a slot on one of the
yeah,
weeks to be a player, and I really, really, really want him to do that because I think it'd be amazing if he can get to finals night. Because if he gets to finals night, you can only imagine how many of us lot will be
yeah.
going to support him, and that'll be an incredible evening at the Modus.
Moving on now to Dark Club, as you mentioned, which the content on there is just amazing, mate. Could you kind of explain to the viewers, how that idea started to, start that channel up?
Do you know what? It started. it was in sort of motion and in talks for maybe 2.5, 3 months before we first kicked it off. It was just kind of like, there's a few like rumbles, and me and Jake were always wanting to do something together. From the events that we were then put together on, we were like, you know what, we get on really well. With the fact that at that point we were then the tag team champs, it almost was written in the stars for us to create it. It wasn't just us two at the start. There were a couple of other names who were involved, and then sadly had to drop away for financial reasons, or the fact that there's a lot of traveling that we have to do because we're not anywhere near each other. We put it in our sort of calendars that every month we're going to meet up somewhere around the country to get some videos done for the month ahead. That's the only way that we can do it because we don't live anywhere near each other. So there was a few commitments
Mm.
that some other people couldn't do, which is totally fine. But we knew that we had to do something different because me and Jake, as people will probably know, are not very good dart players. Like, we're getting better. Our darts are getting better, slowly but surely, but we're not up to the level of TBD and McDarts and Dan Cokes with their ball hitters. Like, we are not in
Mm.
any way, shape, or form, trying to compete with the ball hitters. They can throw absolutely insane darts, and
Yeah.
their content, like over the last maybe 2 months, has been so good. Like,
Yeah.
they have upped their video quality no ends. Like, we get on so well with all of them. Like, they're in our sort of dark group as well. Like, we're really good mates with them, and that's why it's kind of funny that there's a little bit of friction between the ball hitters fan base and what we're kind of doing with Dart Club, because they're thinking that we're like competing or copying them, but we're not, because their content is all about extremely good darts and showing off the darts to an extremely high level. Ours is not that. Ours is about having fun, going to different dart shops, causing havoc, getting a load of the public involved. Like, we want to get regular public videos where we're constantly giving back to our audience. That's why, our slogan is join the club, welcome
Yeah.
to the club. There's a reason for that, because it's a community run club. Like, when we go to these certain dart shops and we do these dart shop videos, it's not going to be a private run videos that we'll do in this dart shop. We will announce it. We want people to turn up. We want people to be there to take part in the videos that we have planned.
Hmm.
We had certain things that we wanted to do over Christmas, which sadly didn't go ahead because the things that we needed we didn't get soon enough. Which, it is what it is, but that's not going to stop us from doing it, going forward over this year. Like, we've been given the support that we've had from Red Dragon and Winmore in particular is
Mm.
just absolutely insane. They back us highly, and I feel like that's also something else that I think is quite funny. Is if there was not a good relationship between me and Jake and the ball hitters, then Red Dragon and Winmore wouldn't be supporting both the groups.
Yeah.
Like, the ball hitters are so highly in with Red Dragon and Winmore that if they had a problem with us, they wouldn't be allowing us to get in there with Red Dragon and Winmore as well.
Mm.
So, from that standpoint, it is quite a funny thing. But yeah, I mean, we've got some things in the pipeline through Luke as well. Like, some of the announcements that will be coming out on Dart Club over the next month, probably. There's a few big things coming out in the next sort of month and a half. Will hopefully spike us even more. We filmed a video, and this is a bit of an exclusive. We filmed a video at the dart shop in Swindon, the Swindon Darts Hub,
Yeah.
which is undoubtedly our best video that we have filmed. It is going to be an incredible video. We have some special guests in it, and the actual stuff that happens in it is just amazing. Jake honestly makes himself look like an absolute muppet, and it is so funny. I am so excited for people to see that video because it is going to be brilliant.
Amazing. And talking about, content creation in general, at the moment, it's not your full-time job, is it?
No, it's not. No, it's not. I'm still acting on the side as well as going through my teaching qualifications at the moment. So I'm doing a 1 year intensive teacher qualification, which is hard. I'm not gonna lie, it's proper intense.
Yeah.
So trying to fit everything in. I feel like that's the reason why I've gone extremely hard over the Christmas period because it was, it's my free time. It's, the time that I haven't then got to worry about, teaching children or having to worry about all of the coursework that I've then got to provide and stuff like that. So, um, yeah, it's a hard balancing act. I can't lie, but it's worth it in the long run.
Absolutely as well. With content creation, I was watching a creator the other day, and if you're not, up there in top five creators in the UK or whatever, it is so hard to create a stable income from it. But is content creation something you would look to do full time in the future?
Um, I would love to do content creation um as full time as I can.
Yeah.
Even if it kind of breaks into maybe doing commentary or
Yeah.
doing interviews for, the PDC or even the WDF or even the ADC circuit or even the Modus. Do you know what I mean? Like if it branches me out into a place that I can then still be myself in front of a camera and all things like that, then that's ideal for me. I mean, like I said, I've been in front of a camera acting since I was like 9, 10.
Yeah.
So like I'm so used to being in front of a camera and almost performing at to like any sort of level I need to. So yeah, creating would be amazing to do full time, but anything to do with creating, if interviewing, like I said, commentary or anything like that, if anything like that springs from it as well, then that's even more of a win in my eyes.
Well, thank you so much for that, mate. If it's okay, I've got a few quick fire questions for you to answer.
Yeah, go ahead, mate.
Okay, first one. Would you rather win the World Championship on your own or the World Cup with live darts with Jake?
I think being the world champ, definitely.
What is your favorite kind of cheap meal to have after you've won a darts game?
Recently, probably a pizza.
I think that's kind of the perfect one. It fills you up, doesn't it? It's when you feel like you're treating yourself, especially.
Yeah, but to be fair though, the following morning it doesn't feel good in the following morning.
What darts are you currently using yourself?
I am currently using the Red Dragon Paradigms with 38 Raptor points and the new all-in-one system by Red Dragon called Nitro Flight.
Very
Have you
nice.
noticed how easily? Have you noticed how easy that's come off the tongue? It's almost like
Yeah,
I get asked that regularly in live streams. It just comes off the tongue so easily.
it's one of those as well when people have like the Omni or the Scolia. It's like the only thing
Oh,
they get asked.
honestly, it's all the time, mate. It's all the time. That looks like such a cool surround. How does the light score for you? Well, it's funny that, and then you just go off on a tangent for
Yeah,
the next 2 minutes and go,
or
it's
it's
all
the
down to where the
classic.
points go in. Oh, yeah, it's
Yeah,
all the time.
or it's the classic. What app is that?
Oh, yeah, I get that all the time. All the
And
time.
finally, mate, to round up, if you could have a darts tag team, 5 people, you can have a mixture of pros or friends. Who would your 5 people be?
Oh, wow. Um, Blimey. As in current,
Anyone, current, past, present, whatever.
um, Phil Taylor.
Yeah,
It's got to be Jake.
absolutely.
Um, get Littler involved. He can get involved in the banter. Um, oh, this is hard. This is hard. Get Luke Bod involved. Get all the Lukes involved. In fact, yeah, get all the Lukes involved. So you got me, You got Luke, me. You got Luke Bod. You
Yeah,
got Luke Humphreys. You got Luke Littler. Then you got Phil Taylor, and you got Jake. There you go,
brilliant. I think that's undefeatable.
mate. The Luke's United with a bit of Jake on the side and a bit of Phil Taylor. I mean, you're not beating that. You got a
Yeah.
nuke involved. You got the whole power involved. You've got the power of the tats with Bodley involved. You've got the height issue with me involved. I mean, come on, it's a match made in heaven.
Absolutely, mate. Well, it has been an absolute pleasure to have you on the podcast, not the interview. It's been absolutely brilliant, and I hope you've enjoyed it.
Yeah, thank you very much for the offer, mate, and good luck for series two.
Thank you very much.